Hey guys, Salt here.
OGB, what's happening?
So we just pulled up to the hospital. Everything's good. We are here for our newborn care class. So this is what I signed up for all the classes. First time parent. I ain't gonna lie, I was hella excited. So this class is, I'm assuming, gonna show us or teach us how to take care of a newborn, like
It's
the
gonna
basics.
give us a little bit of game.
Yeah. So I'm super excited. Babe had the pregame before the class. Show him, babe. You gonna show him?
I don't think I should show him.
Well, y'all know what pregame mean. He's definitely pregaming before the class. Getting it right, You gotta get it out before you get here. Because, it's gonna be showtime in a minute.
For sure.
I am exactly 31 weeks. I will be 32 weeks on Sunday, which is 8 months for y'all who don't know the weird calculations for pregnancy. And
Is you ready, baby B? Is you ready, baby B? Dad.
Yeah, so we're gonna try to see what we can see if we can record in here. Y'all know B is about to act a damn fool in front of these people.
I got questions.
So I'm gonna try to catch them with this.
Questions. Ha! Come on, baby, we out. 6:30.
All right, bye, y'all.
Maybe say your due date. If you're having more than one, please let me know that.
My name is Brandon. It's my wife, Shancy. Our baby's due April 24th. My first baby boy. I can't wait. I can't wait.
Don't make it hard.
I got him.
Okay, so nobody has anything specific that they're dying to know tonight? Yes.
The umbilical cord cleaning situation, that's something I'm nervous about.
Okay,
So-
we'll definitely talk about that. That is a section where we talk about it. Just talking about the umbilical cord, if any of you have any people that are coming to stay with you and help with it, unless anybody is really opposed. Not after I sold it like that. Okay, so, is on duty. And if you'd like them, go ahead and, get their name, write down their name so that you remember a name you can sign up for them. But the pediatrician, even if you've gotten a chance to sign up, while you're in the hospital, right away, you're going to want to do skin-to-skin care. Does anybody know what skin-to-skin care is or have heard of it? I won't call on anybody if they don't want, but you feel free to bust it out. Yeah.
Does it have anything to do with when the baby's born straight to the mom's chest?
Yes, exactly. So it's that, and it's a whole bunch more as well, right?
Okay.
Right when baby's born, they'll most likely put a cloth on mom, and then put your baby on your chest or your abdomen, depending on how long or short the umbilical cord is. The length of the umbilical cord doesn't have anything to do with the health of the umbilical cord. It's just like hair, short or long, doesn't really matter. But if it's a short umbilical cord, baby will be placed here, right? If it's longer, they do want baby up a little bit higher so that mom and baby can make some skin-to-skin contact. They put the blanket in between just because when your baby's warm, they're all wet and warm, right? So if there wasn't that cloth there, your baby would go on you and they'd be wet, and then they can get cold really quick. So generally they put the cloth there, put the baby over you, put another cloth over that, kind of pat down baby kind of like this. And I should let you know I'm very hands-on, so you will see that today, but I don't want to upset you with some of my hand gestures. But they will kind of go like this, and then they'll take that blanket off, put another warm blanket on, and then they'll pull that blanket out from under you. So then your baby is truly skin to skin, but they're not all wet, right? So if you don't want that, in your birth preferences sheet, I would just write in the margin, no blanket in between after birth. And if they do forget and you have the thought process there for you when your baby's born, if they put it on you and your baby's coming on your chest, just pull it off. Nobody ever gets offended about that at all. And that's not a problem at all. If you have a labor support person that's helping you or a doula, you can let them know that that's what you want, and they'll just tap you on the shoulder and say, okay, you want to take your blanket off. But that's the reason they put it on there. It's usually on there for the most at like 3 or 4 minutes. So yeah, that skin to skin is really important for your baby. So if you imagine that your baby's in here for 10 months, right? And now they're outside of your body, on your chest. That doesn't feel very far away to you, maybe, but that is such a world of difference to them. They've gone from being in a wet, warm environment where the air pressure is super different in there, right, the PSI. They hear the blood flowing. When mom gets excited or she gets a kiss from you, she gets a little oxytocin flowing and it surges through the umbilical cord and your baby feels that love as well. Now they're outside and they don't have any of that anymore. They have their own system and they can look at your face and they can feel that on your skin, but this still feels so far away from where they've been for the last 10 months. So at least skin to skin on you, they can hear and feel your heartbeat and they feel your skin. And when they're born in a very sterile environment. As you put your thumb or your index finger on the side of their nose and just with some gentle pressure, just bring it all the way down. Because what's happening is the sinuses right here are kind of clogged, so it's coming up the tear duct instead of out the nose. So if you just do this and then bring it down a little bit, you can do that on both sides. And you probably don't need to do that more than like 5 or 6 times, and that'll help get it out. You can try that and then use a little bulb syringe, and that'll maybe get some. But just be careful that you don't go up and down, right? Because the goal is to bring it down. And they're breathing. They breathe so fast.
That's
You're gonna see
balloon
their
in the
little
mouth.
chest just going like twice as fast as ours do. It just like this. They're just made. They're just so much more efficient, right? They're littler, so they need more breath to get that moving through their body. So just know that that's okay. When you're in the hospital before discharge, make sure to talk to them about your baby's breathing, just so that you can have a nurse tell you, yeah, they're supposed to breathe this fast, so you don't get nervous.
The my mom blowing in the mouth to make the snot come out. Or what she do? She suck it out.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but
You wouldn't recommend.
Is that
Well,
okay?
The sinuses do drain to that. I would kind of think if you blew in their mouth and you were actually able to get to their sinuses, it would compact it more.
I might be saying it wrong.
I've seen it sucked out.
Okay, maybe sucked out. There we go. Sucked it out.
I could, yeah, that could work.
It'll work. Okay. Okay.
I never tried that. I love both of my boys a lot. Never really wanted their snot in my mouth.
And boogers.
That is kind of
But I
nasty.
can see how that could help. Because sometimes, you're going to learn your baby's personality.
I said blow in the
Some of your
mouth.
babies will be completely annoyed if they have snot in their nose. Some of them will not care. Some of your babies could hang out, I'm not suggesting this, could hang out in like a wet, dirty diaper for a couple of hours and be like, whatever. And some of your babies are going to be like, get this off me now. So you're just going to have to get to know your baby to find out what bugs them and what bugs you, and kind of figure out the flow of things. Because they do truly have a personality. I have my 2 boys, my 18-year-old, he nursed for between 45 minutes and an hour. When he was like 3 or 4, he ate his dinner. It took him 45 minutes to an hour. He's away at the dorms now. He hangs out in the cafeteria for about an hour before meeting. That's the way he is. My second son, Tyler, he was like in and out. Man, if he was on the breast for more than 5 minutes, I was happy. And now, like, I'll put his plate down, I'll turn around, I'll get our salad, I'll be like, where'd your food go? And he's done, and he's gone. So they do have personalities, and it's. But we already talked about my doctor and the first visit. Okay, we covered all that. So like I said, you will be going to the pediatrician between 2 and 4 days at the Newborn Care Center. And just in case I didn't say where those were, they're Walnut Creek, Antioch, and Pleasanton. And then you'll go back at 2 weeks, 2 months, 4 months, 6 months.
All right, guys. So we just had a break. How you enjoying the class so far, babe?
I ain't gonna lie. Go straight. What's that over
Yeah, but it's okay.
there? They giving up free game in this class. If you ain't come to this class before you had a baby, you too embarrassed. I'm too good for that. Bruh, please, bruh. She giving up realism, bruh.
Yeah.
Did y'all know when you burp the baby, you ain't supposed to hit the baby in the same spot? I watch everybody do that.
Everybody do that.
Everybody.
Yeah. What happens, it makes it a bigger burp and it's uncomfortable for
What
the
you supposed
baby.
to do, baby?
You're supposed to work it from the shoulders to the butt or
Nope.
from the butt to the shoulders. Yes, it is. Because she said if you work it down, then it becomes a poot. If you work it up, it becomes, yeah. But yeah, no, this class is definitely on point. A lot of my friends said that we shouldn't take it. Yeah, like,
Said don't take it?
yeah.
Oh, that was
There's and a lot of the stuff that we gonna learn once the baby gets here. But I can definitely say that taking this class so far has been beneficial. So we're gonna enjoy our little break, try to find us a little snack, and we'll get back to y'all.
So, and I'm gonna take my baby out of this just so you can see, because I know if I'm down here, you can't really see what I'm doing, right? Just pretend that my baby is not cold. And I'm gonna just get like a bowl of warm water and dip this or the corner of the washcloth like through my finger, just dip it in the water, and then I'm just gonna go from the outside of the eye to the inside and down the nose a little bit, just to get some of those crusties out and kind of the eye boogies out. And so you just dip it in the water a little, and then just kind of rub. Just a little pressure towards the
outside to the inside.
just from here to the
Oh,
inside.
okay. And then get
And
it
then you
up.
can do the same thing, dip it again, and kind of on the bottom to the inside. Because they get all these little crusties right here that are really uncomfortable, or they get little sleepies in their eyes down here. You just want to gently rub it, and if you know that motion that we talked about, the nose doing this. So if you kind of just continue that down the nose a little bit, that'll give them a little bit of a nose massage. And then once you get their eyes clean, you can just dip that washcloth a little bit more into a little bowl and just kind of rub their forehead down, their cheeks down. Just kind of gently go around the corners of their mouth. The big thing is to get their neck right here, because milk pools or just kind of go like this, or you can with your palm, if you want, you can, if they're here, you can just put your hand under their back and lift them up a little bit, because their head will kind of lean back. Yeah, just like you guys are kind of instinctually just trying to like help me do that. So if you lean them back, their chins will go up a little bit, and then you can get those cracks.
Also, the whole head is there.
And then with the other end, I would dry that area, because that area gets kind of red and shaped because it's always moist. So just make sure to dry that.
One only dip on one side.
And then, depending on what you prefer, right, this is totally up to you. I'm going to give you 2 different ways to wash their hair. You don't need any soap. When they're born, they are born with vernix, which is this milky, creamy, oily protectant to protect their skin from the water environment of the womb. So that's really oily, and that's soaking into them continuously. So we don't really want to put soap on them to wipe that off. We want them to be nourished by that. So once again, until the umbilical cord comes off, no soap. But you can just get this washcloth really wet and just kind of squeeze it over their head. It's okay for water to go down their face. They've been in a water environment. They're used to that. And actually, the sooner you can get them used to still having that feeling, the easier your toddler baths will be. So I think it's good to dip it in the warm water and squeeze, and then kind of pat around their head. Because they're not doing a whole lot. You know, they're not like biking up Mount Diablo or something and getting all sweaty. So after you squeeze it, just kind of pat around their head. Some of your babies might have like some cradle cap, which is some thick skin buildup on their head. Probably won't have within the first couple of weeks, but it might. If you have that, you can get some olive oil or some cold pressed coconut oil and put it on your baby's head and just massage there. Not pick off the flakes, not use a comb to get it off. Just massage in some of that oil. That will loosen up that extra skin buildup. And then with the washcloth, if you kind of do this, it'll come off a little bit. If it doesn't come off, it doesn't need to come off. It's okay. You can just do more oil to loosen it up. The other thing that you could do, which I did with my babies, is when it came time for their head, I picked them up and I put their head in the bowl. Because they're just getting all wet, it's okay. And you just kind of do that. So you have like a bigger bowl, right? And if you have a boy, they'll probably eat. So you might want their diaper on. But just kind of go like that with their head, and then you can use this to tap it dry, right? But it is really nice at least a couple of times to squirt water in so that it runs down their face. You want them to be used to that feeling. You don't want to have them wear a visor every time they get in the bathtub, right? So then now that their head's done, you're gonna put on their hat because we don't want them to get chilled. Goodness, this little hat looks like a snowboarder hat on this little one, right? She's like ready for the Olympics. So put their hat on. And then with the same washcloth, you can just lift up her arms, or his arms, and just kind of rub them down. So once again, they're not really getting dirty, right? If they've had a blowout, that's different. You can actually see what you're trying to clean off. But other than that, you're just kind of helping them to feel a little bit fresh. I'm sorry, am I a little too direct? If they do have a blowout, it'll mostly go up their back. So we'll get to their back in a minute. So just rub them down, get in between their fingers with the washcloth, dump it and squeeze it. Some people like to have a second washcloth so that when you get this arm all wet, then you can use the other one to dry it. But if you're on the blanket, you know, you can just bring the blanket to dry it off. And then clean the umbilical cord, and then just go down to your baby's hips. And then trim your baby over, which you'll get used to how to trim your baby over. But if you put your palm like over their belly, and your index finger and your thumb kind of like this, when they're on the ground, when you turn them to roll them, their head's gonna roll forward. And that's okay, their head can roll as forward as they want. What you're trying to, you don't want their head to roll back too much, right? So roll them onto the side, onto their tummy, and then we're gonna make sure to get behind their ears. So you can take the hat off if you want, depending on how big your hat is. And get behind their ears. Make sure you got behind their neck. Usually behind their neck isn't as goopy as this part. And then just dump in. If, you know, you might need a different washcloth if they've had a blowout. So maybe have a couple hands just in case. And just really rub down their back, down to their tushy. You can do some of their legs, but most likely their legs are going to be all kind of fetal style. So pretty much you're just going to go to their bottom. And then put the palm of your hand on their back with the index finger and the thumb on the side of the ears, and then roll them back over so that you can kind of do this with your index finger, and that would kind of prevent their head from not going too far back. That make sense?
Kind of.
And then you can put them back down and put their hat back on.
Boy, we struggling.
And then we're gonna clean their toes first, and their feet.
Go ahead, Daddy.
And when you're rubbing your baby to clean them, make sure that you just kind of use like a firm motion. You don't want to go too fast, too light, because that'll like give them the shivers, right? It's just like when somebody touches us like that, it doesn't feel so great. So just give them a little bit of pressure. Do both of their feet and their legs, get the back of their knees, because since their legs are always bent, it gets all red and chafed back there. And you'll discover all of this. These things that you're thinking of, oh, I want to remember to do the back of their knees. You will, because you'll see it. It'll be a little bit red. And then the last part we're going to do is their crotch, because, we don't want to reintroduce that. So you clean off your baby, and you'll get to know this little motion, which is like you can hold their foot in your pinky and your finger and hold the other foot with the other two fingers, and then you can kind of wrap around with your thumb, because you're going to want to do their bottom. So you get used to being able to hold their feet.
But the babies, this will be more flexible.
There you go.
Fake nose.
Because it's really rare that your baby will just lay there and be like,
Hell no.
do whatever you need. They're going to be like kicking, and if they do have any poo, they're going to kick, and it's going to get in their heel, and then their heel's going to move and hit their thigh, and it's going to get all over. So if you can get this grip down, it's really, really helpful.
Let me see your daddy. Let me see your grip.
And if it's a boy, and the boy's been circumcised or not circumcised, there's nothing special you need to do with the penis. You just get the water and you rub it on the penis as well. You don't need to push anything down with the skin. You just put some water over it, clean out the crevices, and you're all good. If it's been circumcised, there's going to be gauze on there for a little while. Your pediatrician will give you instructions on if you should replace the gauze. It just depends on how the circumcision went for your baby. But in general, once the gauze is off, you don't want to reapply that same gauze, because that gauze is probably contaminated in some way, right? You'll be putting on like some Neosporin on the tip. So in that case, you don't need to try to clean off anything with the washcloth. You just want to apply more of the Neosporin. There's a page in here on circumcision, on cleaning. So you get your grip, you clean the bottom. Now we're going to put the diaper on. So the little snaps, you probably know that part goes down, right? So you can use that hand, palm to the belly, like this, to roll your baby over, to put the diaper on the ground if you want. Or you can use that grip with your fingers to lift your baby up to put the diaper down.
I like that one.
And you're going to find your own way. These are just ideas for you. If you have a boy, the penis is pointed down. Otherwise, it'll pee up through their belly. And in general, what you want to do too on the diaper, since the umbilical cord's still there, you want to fold the diaper in so that it's below the belly button. Otherwise, it'll rub on it and it'll be uncomfortable. But if you fold out, all the absorption is going to go out to their clothes. So you want to make sure to fold it in. And then you want it tight enough that it's going to keep everything in, but not so tight that it's going to make them uncomfortable. So you should still be able to get like a finger in between the diaper and their skin, because right when they eat, their tummy expands, and you don't want them to have a little muffin top, because that's uncomfortable. So just make sure that you can get a little finger in there, right? And then I would turn your baby over and make sure that this part of the diaper is straight and up. Because if it's folded, once again, it's going to come right up. Or if it's too low, and they got like little saggy drawers, it's also not going to catch anything. So this should really be up to like their middle back. The other thing to pay attention to is in between their legs. You want to make sure that this is sticking out, the little ruffle, so that it's not tucked in. It feels so wrong to be like manipulating this baby like this. But see how that goes like that. Okay. And just before we get the rest of the baby dressed, let's pretend that this baby has poo in their diaper, right? And it's a boy. you're gonna want to get something, maybe a diaper, a washcloth. But you're gonna undo the diaper, and then what you're gonna do is you're gonna bring this part forward and down around. So you're sort of wiping as you're getting this off, right? And then you're gonna hold either the washcloth or the diaper over the baby. Because as soon as there's air, babies pee.
Oh, that's why they do that. 'Cause of the air.
Girls will pee too, but it'll just drip down their tushy. It'll go into your mouth if you're really checking this out. So you just kind of brush down and back. And then with this diaper, you can kind of tuck it in and roll this.
Oh, boys. Okay.
Right? So then everything is inside there. That's in the little perfect scenario. But remember, their heel gets in it and everything. And you will have poo under your fingernails more times than you count.
Yeah, that's not gonna get
Just to know.
down.
Alright, so let's get the diaper back on. No, it took a lot of work to get the diaper. You could maybe switch and have the other person put the diaper on. Unless they're a master.
Jackson's.
Gotta cut them down.
We definitely cut
And
it
some of you will have the diapers that has like the line, so you can tell if it's soiled or
Yeah.
not.
So about
60 days ago. 60 days ago.
And then we're gonna grab the onesie when you're ready. The nice thing about these
just a baby.
onesies, the way that they have this little cross hatch here on the side, it's so that you can get it over their heads, right? Without like bumping their face. So what I like to do is I like to bunch up the back to the neck, right? So there's this whole flap part. So I bunch all this up. So that when I get ready to put it on the baby, everything is right over their face. Oh, now you can take off their hat because they have their neck covered. Because you don't want their face, covered up for too long, otherwise they won't like that at all. So you kind of make a hole for their face, kind of tuck it under their chin. You can't really do it. Up high. So you kind of tuck it and then bring it over their head. That kind of makes sense? And then you can use that palm finger hold to turn them to the side to pull the onesie down. And once the onesie's down and over their bottom, then you can try to get the arms in.
for the umbilical cord.
Been doing this forever. Come on, Brandon. We gotta go.
And then snap them in. And then you should have, do you guys have sleepers or a sleep sack, or you just have the onesies?
Just the one thing.
Look at this big.
This is the discount class.
I grabbed like one bag out of the middle and I happened to pick like the perfect bag. Well, it's a summer night, so they don't need much tonight. But I'll just show you. So this is a sleep sack. So it's open at the bottom. And the reason that this is really nice is you put it on your baby in the middle of the night and maybe you don't need to swaddle because your baby doesn't like it or it's not that cool. When you go to change the diaper, all you need to do is pull this out.
So they
You don't
sleep
need
with
to do-
just that.
Huh?
They sleep with just that, not that over something else.
You can. If you do, then the sleep sack, you tuck the bottom into the back and then you swaddle them up. But usually with the sleep sack, they don't need to be swaddled in addition to that. Because they can tuck in their feet. It just makes changing their diaper a lot easier. At nighttime, no. Now your baby has their socks on, they have their onesie on. Maybe they have the hat on. If not, let's put their hat on. And we're gonna swaddle.
Swaddle time.
Most of your babies will like swaddling. And I haven't figured out how to swaddle babies will be really particular. Like, they won't like the way the seam feels. So just make sure that when it's folded over, it's not all like bunched up and like giving them a wrinkle in their back, right? Because they might not like that. And also, most babies don't like to be swaddled or sleep like this. Just like we don't, like with this, you know, straight jacket kind of thing. But sometimes we can get one arm down and one arm to be bent across the chest. So we're gonna try to swaddle this baby like this. Because that's more comfortable and they won't fight to get this arm out. But if they really want their hand by their face, then they can just get their hand really easily.
Sorry, I can't focus.
So what you
It's a
do
mean ass baby
is you
in the
bring
front.
one side all the way over with that straight arm down.
Straight on down this one.
So you're pulling the side over that has the straight arm. And then you just, if your blanket is long enough, you can tuck it under your baby's bottom. If not, just bring it over as much as you can. And then this kind of comes out here, kind of like a V a little bit. And you can bring that up and across. So that looks like. Bring it up and across. And then you should have, you know, one of the sides left. And tuck in your baby's arm and bring this over. And pull it a little more up to their shoulder as it's coming across. And then you're just gonna have the blanket under them and their weight is gonna keep it down. Some of you might have a much longer blanket, and if you do, the nice thing about that is you can bring this piece all the way over and tuck it in the back, and then it stays better. But I like how you guys, I don't see very many, like this, so if you have your baby swaddled too much, they definitely are gonna sleep more. This helps to kind of shut down the pituitary gland, so it allows them to sleep better. But too much of that isn't good, because for their hips, we want them to move their hips a little bit, and we want them to move their shoulders to engage their pituitary gland a little bit. So 12 hours and 24, and not past 12 weeks. And if you have like a baby who early on can roll over, it's pretty rare for a baby to roll over before 12 weeks. But once they start rolling to their side pretty regularly, right, or you see it like at least 3 times, you don't want to swaddle then, because you want them to be able to do what they need to do with their hands if they turn over. So if you want to unswaddle, you can let the other person swaddle.
Come on, Daddy, your turn.
I love those little swaddles that look like the Doritos and the Velcro goes right through them. So, and once again, some of you will have babies whose personalities are totally fine having both the arms. Some of your babies won't want any arms down. So if that's the case, you would want their arms up to swaddle them. Or maybe one up and one down. Just because they wake themselves up so often flailing that if you can get it to stay down, that would be ideal. And then once your baby's all swaddled or you're putting them down to bed, back to sleep is always how you want to put them. You don't want to use any of those pillows or blankets or anything to keep them on their back. But back to sleep is the best. If you go to sleep on the front, this is either for you or for people that are coming to help you care for your baby. When you put them, like falling asleep on your tummy time like this, totally fine, not a problem at all.